How is it going, YouTube? Malagant here. So I have compiled 10 things that you should know in Diablo 4 that are not so apparent or so clear from right off the bat. This should be useful for both the beginners and the veterans of Diablo 4. Please feel free to give more tips of your own in the comment section down below, as I am very keen to learn more of these things. So let's jump right into it. First, we will be looking into breakpoints a little bit. As you might know, every item has an item power in this game. The affixed values of the items depend on the item power. Right now, the highest affixes are capable of rolling in item power above 725. So a ring that is 725 or 811 can have the exact same stats since they are in the same breakpoint. Now here's where it gets a little bit trickier. You can find a ring that is 700 and then upgrade it to 725 using the jeweler NPC. Since now you have reached the new 725 breakpoint with this item, the item will expand its affix roll caps and it will re-roll within the new values. So it will end up having the same affixes, but the values of the affixes will belong into a new bracket, and within that bracket it will re-roll them, and you might end up having an incredible roll or even worse than before. Fortified will be the next thing that we will look at. Fortified means a specific condition. It will be usually referred as while fortified, meaning your entire life bar is fully fortified and you have your UI clearly showing that. So it is also possible to have a condition that requires you to have just a bit of fortification, or over 50% of your life, in which case it will usually be referred to as while you have fortify, or while you have fortify for over 50% of your life, respectively. To make things a little bit clearer, so there's this sapphire gem that you can put into your armor pieces, which is offering you damage reduction while fortified. Since it mentions fortified, that is a specific condition and you need to be fully fortified. Your entire HP pool needs to be completely fortified and your UI needs to show it for that damage reduction to be in effect. Up next, we're going to look into the mounts. Mounts boost skill actually stacks and makes you go faster. The more boosts you use, the fastest way to go from point A to B, given it is far enough, is to boost twice. Hold until halfway cooldown and boost one more time to refresh your buff. When the new boost is available, you will use that one too. Done right, this will be maintaining your twice speed for the furthest duration. Depending on which class you're playing, at this point it might actually be better off just to dismount to reset the cooldowns fully, and then you'll be able to mount up again. Did you know that you can target farm most of the item slots in this game? Given enough time in game, I am sure you will end up wondering, why do you have so many ones after a nightmare dungeon or many helmets? This is because certain type of monsters are more likely to drop certain armor types or weapon types. You can check the link down below for all the information that you need about monster families and target farming. There are lots of potions available in Diablo 4 and some of them are incredibly big. When it comes to rare potions, not only you can craft some of these things, but at the same time you can find a lot of incredibly powerful potions in Helltide. So this gives you a little bit more reason to run Helltide and open as many chests as you can within that place. I actually have a guide for Helltide as well. If you would like to check it out, it will be on the top right corner right now. But some of the potions, and I won't be covering them all, are capable of giving you 15% crit chance on top of whatever you have. It will give you crazy amounts of lucky hit chance. It will give you 30% extra life, completely multiplicative. It can give you 900 base armor, and then that armor is going to multiply from the percentage armor upgrades of yours. So all these things are incredibly impactful for late game progression and actually can let your character complete a certain dungeon that it wouldn't have otherwise. Alright, so simply put, the best thing in my opinion to target when it comes to obols or gambling is just straight up buying rings at the moment. Simply because rings are capable of giving you all the offensive aspects there are in the game. On top of that, they also have their own unique legendary aspects, which are only capable of rolling on rings. So therefore you'll be able to target not only the offensive aspects, all of them, but at the same time trying to get the rarest legendary aspects that are only available in rings as well. So whenever I'm in doubt, I'm always just buying rings with my eyeballs. Might be a bit obvious, but when it comes to multipliers in this game, you can understand if the value is very impactful or not, meaning multiplicative or additive, by simply seeing the small X symbol in the brackets right next to the percent value. Given that the value is multiplicative and will be having a big impact on your damage calculations, I actually have a specific video for beginners on how to understand and deal more damage on any given character or build of yours on the top right corner of your screen right now. Another one that actually surprised me for not thinking about it sooner was that legendary aspects being able to be put on another legendary without a limit. So you do not really need a rare item every time, and you have no reason to save a rare item to find a max rolled legendary power of your liking. You can simply put even the one inside your codex that is the lowest roll onto the best item that you have found, and then if you end up finding a better legendary power, you can take it out and then apply it on top of it to just upgrade the legendary power that you have already been using. I like to call this the maintenance period in Diablo 4, where you go back to town. You're gonna need to basically figure out what is valuable in your bags, which one to sell, what to salvage, what to keep perhaps in your stash, and which aspects to take out in the occultist. Now we are going to be talking about the sort ability in your inventory. When you press the sort, it is very important to understand what it does. It basically groups up, helmets together, weapons together, two-handers together, one-handers together, the boots together, pants together, etc. And on the left side, furthermost, it will always have the highest item power. So from here on, you can sort of understand when it comes to weapons especially, which will be probably covering the most section of your inventory. From the left furthest, you'll be able to understand that is the strongest two-hander in your inventory. So if it's not good enough, as you go to the right side, it won't necessarily mean much either. So you will be able to quickly go through your inventory when it comes to weapons. So you will need to look at the two-hander on the furthermost. And if the item power is too high, this is good. You can look at the right next as well. You can do the same for the one-handers at the same time. Apart from that, when it comes to the armor, remember what I said at the start of the video about the breakpoint, 725. So up until that moment, you can continue checking. When you get the hang of sorts ability of the inventory, basically you're going to be able to control or maybe even reduce the amount of time that you spend inside this maintenance period, but drastically. And you're gonna start perhaps even enjoying, looking at the better items and just completely selling the rest of them. I will also be including a short section here about what item to sell, what to salvage. Most of the time when it comes to yellow items, it's just better to sell everything because gold is such a sink right now in the game that you will need as much as possible. On top of that, what to salvage, I usually just salvage the legendaries. When it comes to the uniques, if you don't want to keep a unique in your stash, if it's a duplicate or if it's a unique that you're not going to be using at any point, it's usually better to sell it to the NPC because they come with a really good exchange when it comes to gold values on them. So you salvage the legendaries, you sell the rares, and you sell the uniques as well. Last thing that we'll look into is creating a new character and leveling it fast. Right now, boosting is, even after the latest experience changes in the game, is still in the game. You can boost a friend of yours in about 45 minutes to level 50. What you have to do specifically is jump into World Tier 2, do the capstone, jump into World Tier 3, do the capstone again, They will be about level 10 at this point. And you will end up opening a nightmare. Well, you will go to tier 4. You will open a nightmare dungeon that is 21 to 25. You can craft as many as you like from these on the occultist. And then I would like you to run either Sarat Slayer or Domain Tunnels. Those are the 2 dungeons that are giving incredible experience. In about like 3 to 4 runs, your friend is going to end up being level 50. This takes about 40 to 45 minutes in my experience. On my stream, I boost quite a lot of people, in fact. Let's talk about, solo leveling as well. If you're, if you just would like to level up solo, you're going to have to go to Domain Tunnels right off the bat, level 1. I should probably advise you to check out some sort of like a planning when it comes to what build or what skill you would like to use and what to max out, instead of trying to figure it out on the go, because that will 100% slow you down big time. And on top of that, just spamming Domain Tunnels back to back, you can easily get to level 20 in about like 25 to 30 minutes if you know what you're doing, especially when it comes to skill distribution. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. Remember to leave a like and subscribe for more. I'll catch you next time. Peace out.